What's up YouTube? Georgia Silver Hunter back, and today I have what will probably be a pretty short little penny video. I stopped by my local Wells Fargo and the bank manager said she had a handful of rolls of pennies she's been hanging on to for me for some time, and when she pulled them out, I got kind of excited. We've got a lot of copper in front of us and I can't wait to go through it with you. So let's jump into it. All right, well, there's not a whole lot here other than to say we've got a bunch of really old pennies here in front of us. Now, these are all, or at least these four over here, appear to be all original bank wrap 1974 copper pennies. Now, I'm dying to actually open one of these just to make sure they are, in fact, 1974 Phillies all the way through. But I have a couple of these rolls that are 1974 on both ends. So what I'm going to do is check my Strike It Rich with Pocket Change book and some of my other resources and see if there's any DDOs or DDRs or anything like that on these 74s that's worth looking into. And if there is, I'll open a couple on camera. If there's not, I think I'm just going to leave these things sealed. Now let me know in the comments down below if you think I should open these and make a video out of them, because, you know, honestly, if they're just regular copper, I think I'd rather leave them in the rolls because A, I think they'd sell better on resale being original bank wrap rolls, and B, I think they'd stay better preserved in the rolls rather than me opening them and you know, letting the air get to them. So over here though, we do have a really interesting roll, this 1969S, 69 San Francisco. We know that this is a 69S because we've got one on both ends. And you can tell the original owner has rewrapped these and had some sort of roller. We've got some 68S over here as well. And now I just can't remember if it's the 68S or 69S that has the really valuable DDO. And now that I think about it, I think it is the 69S. And believe it or not, if you can find a 69S DDO in mint state condition, it's worth like $30,000 plus in like MS65 or higher. It's kind of crazy. Now over here, we do have a roll marked 68 plain. And that roll, maybe we'll get into, maybe I'll just pull a few of them out just to have a look at them. But again, unless there's a DDO or a DDR to look for, we may just leave those in the roll. So over here on the side, I do have a Benjamin Franklin silver $50 and a Washington silver quarter that I just gave away to some members in a members only video. If you're one of my members and you haven't checked that out yet, make sure you do head on over to my channel and see if you were a winner. So with that, I'm excited to get into at least the 1969 S roll. I do want to bring you guys along for the ride in case we get rich. So let's get into it. So one last thing before we open these rolls, I just checked this. There's no 68S. It goes from 68D to 69D to our 69S, where there is a reverse counterclash that's been found, circulated for 25 to 50, 125 to 200. And a nice BU version, but this is the one I was talking about. If we can find a great big giant double die obverse, which will be next to impossible to do, circulated, that goes for $18,000. So wish us luck here. I also checked on the 74, and there is a floating die clash on it, or a CUD. There's the floating die clash, and there's also a CUD on it. It's high dollar, but I don't know if I want to open all four rolls to hunt for that thing, but it'd be really nice to find something like that. So who knows? Maybe I'll open one roll and look through it. So let's get the camera set up and get through those 69Ss. Okay, well, we're going to give this a try. I don't normally have my camera set up this way, but we'll see what we can do. Like I said, I believe the previous owner kind of pulled this open like I'm doing now, just by the way it was re-rolled. So I don't feel too bad getting these out, but I don't want to destroy this wrapper. All right, well, we just used a pen to push those through. And that does look like a bunch of red 1969s. Now I'm going to do my best to not get my fingers all over these things. So we're going to pick them up kind of one at a time, and I'm going to zoom in here. Hopefully we can get that to focus. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, will we be able to see that double die at this zoom? Probably. I'm going to go through them all this way. I may go back through them under the scope. We will see. I mean, they're gorgeous pennies. Or gorgeous cents for you purists out there. I know in the comments every now and again I get somebody who is like, they're not pennies, they are cents, which that is technically correct. But most people in the world know these as pennies. Can you guys imagine if we did this and found the double die obverse, an $18,000 coin? At a minimum, right? That's what the minimum the book said. $18,000. Sorry, I kind of got my fingers all over that one. I'll get yelled at in the comments for that too, but that's okay. It's like a little die chip or something there in the middle of the coin, or just a gouge. L looks a little wonky too. It's like a little die chip there on the middle of the coin. I think you guys saw from the book, this double die is so severe, we would be able to see it, I believe, just at this level of magnification. And you know, there is that die clash on the reverse. I'll check for that off camera, and I'll bring you guys in if we find it. But I just wanted to check for this double die obverse. Kind of real time with you guys. Let me know in the comments down below. Actually, I think I'm going to leave those 74s wrapped up. If I get enough people saying I should open one in the comments, I'll do a follow-up video where we'll open a roll or two of those. So we're about almost halfway through the roll. Just to remind you guys, I'll put a quick image up on the screen of what we're looking for. At 6, that was a little die chip in it. I'm putting it under the scope. I'll put an image of it up on the screen so you can see what that looks like. There is like a little weird die chip in the loop of the 6. Now I could probably move a little faster than this on my own, but I'm going a little slower on purpose just so you guys can take in the whole coin as well. And it does happen from time to time that I'll miss something on a video and somebody will come back months later in a comment and say, hey, did you see it 3 minutes and 12 seconds on your video, this little thing or that little thing? And every now and then those people are right and I miss something. And sometimes I still have those coins, but most of the time I don't, because by the time I release the video, the coins have been back to the bank, sometimes for a week or longer. All right, we got about 15 or 20 left. And like I said, this probably came from a collector, so he's probably already done this. I would be shocked if there was a collector in the land that wasn't aware, or at least didn't look at an error guide prior to rolling these up and taking them back to the bank. And apparently this was a pretty recent drop, recent in the last month or two. This is a Wells Fargo I used to go to all the time. And I just don't go there as much as I used to. But I'm still real friendly with the bank manager. And she was like, I've been holding on to these things for a few months. And I've been in there a time or two in the last month or so, maybe 2 months. And she just hasn't been there on the Saturday when I go in. And I just happened to connect with her, I think the Thursday before 4th of July weekend. So I've been sitting on these for quite a while. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, maybe 11 left. These are absolutely gorgeous. Seven left. Right, the "we" just looked a little funny there. That "we" had a lot of marks on it. It actually just looks like some carbon accumulation from being in the wrapper. Two left. Here's the last one. I'll put it behind this one so you can see it. Last but not least. All right, so no $18,000 pennies for us, unfortunately. So I'm going to go back through and I'm going to check the reverses for that die clash and see what I come up with. And unfortunately, there's nothing on the 68S or the regular 68 for us to look for. So I'll be back in a second after I check these things for that reverse die clash, and we'll just call it a quick video. All right, well, before we wrap things up, I did want to say I went through that entire roll of 69Ss and looked over the obverse and reverse really closely just to see if we could find anything else interesting. And that one that I said we had a die chip, I couldn't find. It must have been like a little bit of carbon or something there in the loop of the 6. So I didn't actually end up having a little die chip like I thought, but I did have two that obviously had some grease-filled die here because we got a really weak A in states. And we got really weak lettering just randomly here in E pluribus unum. So I thought that was interesting. I'm not going to sit here and try to say that makes this, hugely valuable and an error coin we should all be looking for. But it is a grease-filled die, so I thought it was kind of neat. And you can see this one, we had the same thing, and it was even different lettering on this one. So it's not like the lettering is gone. It's just much weaker than the rest of the coin. Now, I did pull all the rolls out just to show them again. We had 4 regular plain old 1974s. We had our 68 plain or 68 Philly, 68S, and our 69. And I did go ahead and pop open the 68S and the 68 just to give you guys an idea of what the coins look like in there. And they are all still in BU shape, all still very red. And you can see we've got carbon on these things. And if you've never held on to pennies for a long period of time and then opened an original bank wrapped roll, this is really common. I have a bunch of the 2009s, and there were a few rolls that I opened to find some of the DDRs on the formative years, and most of them had pretty bad carbon spotting on them. So not unusual. I don't know if it hurts the value too much when you get it graded, because really they're looking at the details and the overall condition of the coin. But these guys looked really good, and you can tell they were, probably fresh out of a bank wrap several years ago, many years ago, and then wrapped up and put in somebody's collection. So very cool. Now, I'm going to probably just hang on to all these, but if you're the type that finds stuff like this and wants to hurry up and sell it or wants to know why I get excited by it, well, everything up here is copper. At today's copper weight, we've got about $9.88 just in copper value. So forget the fact these are pennies, forget that are cents, forget the fact that there may be some numismatic value to some people. It's still $10 in copper. Now, I checked eBay, and if I can find some recent sales that match these numbers, because I looked these numbers up a couple of days ago, but each of the 1974 original bank wrap rolls, they were going for about $15 or $16 a roll. So with 4 of them, you could count on this being around $60. Now, that's before shipping, that's before fees, but that's still not a bad haul to another collector who is looking for some original bank wrapped BU red 1974 cents. So I thought that was pretty cool. I did the same lookup for these, but I was a little more discerning in that I was looking for people that had rolls that were not original bank wrap. So just 50 individual items. And each one of these, well, the 68S and P, they were around $10 to $15 before or with free shipping. So you got to figure shipping an individual roll, this is probably a couple, $4 or $5, and then you're going to pay some fees on top of that. So not a great score, but still, even if you could get 10, 12, 15 bucks a roll, after I said the shipping and the fees, you're probably going to clear $6 or $7 or $8 a roll. Now the 1969S, this guy over here, I found a listing for one of these for just random 50 coins for $27. So that's a pretty good haul. So that's why I would definitely hang on to these 69Ss. There's some value in those guys. But overall, really happy, really thankful that my bank was willing to hang on to these and then give them to me or sell them to me when I showed up. So if you're a penny person, hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, let me know. Drop on down below, leave me a like and a comment. I'd really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel and you like, typically I do coin roll hunts. This was kind of a coin roll hunt, but it was really small and it was very targeted. But if you like this kind of video, make sure you click on that subscribe button and click that little bell to make sure you get every video that I drop on YouTube the day I drop it. Special shout out to all my channel members. Thank you guys for supporting the channel each and every month. I really appreciate it. With that, I hope you guys are all doing well and take care. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.